We live in a very broken world. The more time we spend here, the more it becomes very evident that this world is becoming very hopeless, and there's nothing much we can do. And the longer you stick around a lot of people, especially worldly people or people that are just not awakened to anything, it seems, the more you lose yourself and the more you become drained. You may not lose yourself if you already have knowledge of self, but you're going to find yourself extremely drained when you're around the general population, which I would say, as they say, 85 of them are not aware of the truth, which leaves a very small percentage of those who do. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not want to be enlightened the way that we do. A lot of people don't seek knowledge with the same passion as we do. A lot of times people, they like to front, they like to pretend like, oh yeah, they read the Bible, they do a little bit of this and that, but do they really understand what spiritual growth really means? Because you come to the point where a person can read the Bible from front to back, but they still don't know how to really ascend spiritually, which is very crazy to me, because you would think that the word of God would motivate you to implement fasting and really get into your prayer mode, and actually be passionate about it and knowing the right times to do so and knowing exactly what to say and just being 100% authentic. I think a lot of people, they don't really understand what prayer really is and how powerful it can be, especially when you're authentic, when you are yourself, when you are expressing every bit of thoughts, including all the pain that you feel inside you when you reach out to God or when you're seeking his wisdom. But I think that part of that is God can see right through us more than anybody else. So he knows exactly how much you really want to dedicate yourself to that lifestyle of spiritual growth. And he knows who's faking it as well. So of course he's not going to really pour into someone that just wants to use religion as a facade. And as you know, there are a lot of people that use religion as a facade. They call them communal narcissists or the spiritual religious narcissists. They use religion as a disguise. They use it to hide their evil intentions that they want. They want to have power over people in some form of authority. And that's why, they're there. Not to say that everybody in that position is that way, but the way this world is looking, it's looking pretty crazy and pretty corrupt. So I say this to say that this world is very broken. And the more you realize this, the more you realize, the meaning of that scripture, don't cast your pearls before swine, really starts to stick to you, because no matter what you do or say, these certain individuals just will never get it. And I don't think they're meant to get it. The ones that operate like mindless drones, they don't have a mind of their own. They think whatever is conditioned into their mind. They don't compute the truth. They don't compute spiritual higher knowledge. They don't even care for it. And an example of this is, I overheard somebody say that somebody said that they don't want to go to heaven because they like to have too much sex. And as I, heard that, I was like, wow. So humans are really, really willing to relinquish their freedom, peace, eternal life for a little bit of pleasure that really doesn't mean anything and will still make you feel empty at the end of it. A lot of humans are under the impression that promiscuity is somehow the best thing in the world, that you will feel so fulfilled by having all these partners and actually laying down and being intimate with them and really sharing and exchanging secretions. Not only that, but even spirits as well. Spirits get exchanged during this time. And not many people really understand how deep and profound sexual intimacy really is. It's not something to be played with. But again, we live in a broken world where a lot of people don't care. They don't care if their soul is destroyed. They don't care if they lose their mind. They're willing to do anything for just a little bit of pleasure. And when it's all said and done, they feel absolutely empty. And they never really understand the true meaning of existing. They'll never understand the benefits of being living in monk mode and really connecting with a higher power. They'll never understand how meaningful it is to bond with another person, to truly love someone. It seems like a lot of humans today lack a lot of depth because narcissism is being spread like wildfire, and it is destroying a lot of people. Narcissism and nihilism as well. The belief that there is nothing, there's no meaning in life, that there's no type of spiritual foundation to existence or anything. They don't believe in anything. So it's very sad to live without that proper structure. And sometimes, again, we I understand we go through things, we make mistakes, may not always go by, we may not always do what is right at times, but you realize that every time that you don't do what's right, you don't do what is logical, you end up falling. It's a bit different when you're chosen. When you're chosen, you can't really move like most people. Most people like to party and be around crowds of people, but when you're chosen, it's like you can sense so much energy all at one time that it can be very much, it could just be agitating. It could be annoying because being around a lot of people does not excite us. We don't like all that noise, all that drama, all that craziness. Not only that, but it's like it just emphasizes how different we are, how alone we are in the way that we think. Our mindset is completely alien. It's completely foreign from a lot of the people around us. So that's why we don't really like going out to places like bars and stuff like that. People just getting drunk and stuff, trying to get laid, I guess, depending on what type of place you go to. But it's like we're not really interested in that. If we want to have a little drink, we'll have it at home. But as far as being around crowds of people where everybody's literally not talking about a damn thing, like they don't talk about shit, I'm telling you, like they just literally just talk about how much they love getting drunk and how much they like doing this. And it's like with us, we're looking for more deeper conversations, more knowledge. That's the thing that we like. But people, it seems like most humans are, it's like they don't have the ability to comprehend higher knowledge, nor do they even see the significance of spirituality. And it's very sad. And that's what makes us also very alone too, because not many people can relate to us. We're trying to ascend higher and higher. We're trying to learn as much as we can. We're like the modern day philosophers that are seeking deeper knowledge as to why certain rules in the Bible ought to be followed. Why is this a commandment? Why is this a law? Now, some commandments are obvious, but you get what I'm saying? Like, why should we have a clean diet? Why should we not eat pork and shellfish and things like that? So, and that's another thing that'll make you set apart. Even just with me not eating pork or shellfish, that already puts me in a position where I'm looked at as, oh, you must be Muslim. And then people already have an idea about Muslims. Oh, they're so conservative, they're so this and that. Some people may not like Muslims and stuff. So that's just an example, you know. And a lot of times you don't have to subscribe to a religion. And then when you say that, which is what I say, I don't subscribe to a religion per se. I believe in the truth. You know, I follow what is true. I believe in God, you know. So I believe and I seek spiritual knowledge. A lot of people don't understand what that even means because everybody likes to put you in a box. You have to be in a box that has the name of a certain religion and a sect of that religion. So as people just love to just lump you in a category. They can't really understand the way that we think and move and how we perceive things. You see, because there's a lot of truth in the Bible, but there's also a lot of truth in a lot of different books, including even the Quran and things like that. Like, I don't have to subscribe to that specific religion if I find very helpful insight in both books, and as well as in my dreams, and you know, when I pray to God about to help me understand certain things, and then he ministers to us by way of spiritual downloads that may come to us while we're consciously awake, visions or dreams, very vivid dreams, and I've had plenty of those. So, and a lot of people just don't understand this walk that we walk. They don't get it. So again, we live in a broken world. I mean, let's go back to what I said earlier, what I overheard someone say, that somebody said they don't want to go to heaven because they love sex too much, you know. And this came from someone that grew up in the church. So I find that to be fascinating, how someone can grow up in a Christian church and say something like that. Because it just goes to show you that this person really lives in the flesh. And this person is pretty far gone. And the fact that a person is willing to go to hell because they love sex too much, like, what type of sex are we talking? Because see, ain't nothing wrong with having sex, but my question is this sexual immorality that he's talking about? Because, you know, sex is not a bad thing, but this world has perverted and corrupted something that was meant to be shared in a marriage, you know, between a man and his wife. But now the world has gone so corrupted that now, you know, people they're not excited about being with their husband or wife. They have to have all these other people in the mix. They have to have multiple partners that they don't even love or care about. They have to have all this stuff. It's like this society has grown increasingly so narcissistic to the point that they're unable to connect with another human being and truly love them. If you can't love another person, you should not have a family. If you have the inability to really pair bond with a man or a woman, you should not have a family. And that goes for both the men and women. It's too much of this going on. And then they end up divorcing, breaking up, or whatever, and the kids end up hating their parents because they're not together. They don't love each other. Now they don't know what love is. And then the cycle just keeps going on and on because people just want to follow pleasure. And if you want to follow and by pleasure, I mean just carnal pleasure. Because you can get pleasure from spiritual empowerment. You can get pleasure from, like I said, when you really grow spiritually to the point that you don't need anything in this earth to be happy. You're completely detached from the things that you used to be addicted to. When you overcome everything that was meant to destroy you, that is something that is the greatest feeling in the world, to have total control over your life and to have control of your soul because it's still intact. You didn't give it away to the devil. But what I notice is a lot of these narcissists, or even some of them are soulless people, soulless ones, It's like no matter what you say, you could minister to them. You could tell them the dangers of soul ties, the dangers of promiscuity. They don't give a damn. They love and they relish in completely letting their soul go to waste. They love, just pretty much laying down with any and everybody and no shame whatsoever. You got people, and again, people say, well, that's none of your business. Well, look at the world we live in, How are you supposed to raise children in a world like this where everybody seems to have this mentality, this dysfunctional way of looking at people and relationships? You can't have a society that functions properly when everybody only just wants to F around. They don't want to build any relationships. Nations are destroyed by infidelity, adultery, sexual immorality. Not only does it destroy relationships, but over time, it can psychologically mess you up. And it can mess up anybody, men and women. Having multiple partners and just taking in all that energy, from whatever demons they have going on, any dark energy, it starts to accumulate within the person. And then they start to lose themselves over time. It's a reason why sexual immorality is a sin. It's not to say, see, the devil likes to confuse people by making them think that, oh, having sex, oh, God doesn't want you to enjoy life and all this. That's not the case. God designed sex to be something that connects man and wife together so that they can bond and have this beautiful connection that allows them to build a large family. It was meant to be something that builds nations, very strong ones too. So there's a beautiful type of thing behind that, but it's like this society does not know nothing about love. It's all about getting their rocks off. And then some of the women are becoming no different than the men nowadays. Women used to have an essence, of making a man really work for it, make him earn it. And then that man would appreciate the fact that this woman wasn't so easy to just get in bed like that. Nowadays, women will approach men as if they're the men and they just want what they call it, a dick appointment. It's not a booty call now, it's a dick appointment. So what happens when a woman does not allow a man to work for it? The man does not see the value in the woman anymore because it's so easy. Like, ass is so easy to get. PUSSY has become so easy to get that most men in this society don't even see the point in getting married because they could just get what they really want out of a woman. It's just the carnal mindset, just the carnal, lustful mindset of just, basically they just view people as sexual objects that they could just pump and dump, and then that's it. There's no relationship, no connections. For those people just don't need to be having kids until they, heal and grow out of that. Because I understand that sexual immorality could be a very addicting thing, and this is not to condemn anyone who suffers from that. But if you're putting in the effort to try to self-improve and make sure that you are able to build strong connections with and relationships with people, and making sure that you have control and domain over your mind, then yes, I respect anybody that wants to make changes in their life. But this is the truth, and this is the truth that a lot of people are not talking about because they don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. But the truth is that the more you succumb to, the flesh and letting your flesh, the more you allow your flesh to control you, the more you're inviting darkness into your life, the more that you become very appetizing to demons to come and take over your vessel, to the point that you're going to start doing things that you never thought you would do. And next thing you know, you lose yourself into that. You allow pleasure to take the wheel, and now Satan became your father. And next thing you know, you don't even know who the fuck you are no more. The people that loved you, they're not going to recognize you eventually. So it gets pretty bad. So with that being said, if you're somebody that has mastered discipline, self-control, and spiritual ascension, and really concentrating on growth and becoming a master of your own mind, and a true king or queen in your life, really growing into your royal identity, it's something that should be encouraged, to remain dedicated to your path, because we need more leaders. We need more people that can actually spread some insight and knowledge. But here's the thing. The sad part about having so much knowledge is that not many people will understand or agree with you, and you might actually find people that will hate you secretly, and you could tell, because when you try to tell someone something and you know that they're not feeling it because they want to live in the flesh, they don't care about spiritual matters, there's going to be a disconnect. And that's the reason why people leave your life, because they're not in that path like you are. They're not as dedicated. So this channel is all about people that are dedicated to their spiritual growth and journey to self-healing, and to really becoming a more enhanced human being. You could become very powerful. You can literally attain powers and so much insight and so much just strength in all areas that it's just amazing that a lot of people don't want to take that path, and I know it's not an easy road. It's very difficult, but every time you overcome every battle, you become more powerful over time. So I think it's worth it, to be honest, but it's not for everyone. And unfortunately, most humans are programmed to think the way they do. So like I said, don't waste your time trying to explain to people certain things about why you do this. Why do you want to live clean? Why do you want to eat clean? Why do you believe in God and all this stuff? Hey, if it's not for them, it's not for them. Because the more you try to explain yourself to them, they're going to try to gaslight. They're going to try to downplay, minimize, question, and try to make you feel bad about doing the right thing. So don't let that happen. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being excellent. And that's all I have to say. God bless.